I'm Kerry Fink with Helping Seniors Updates, and on behalf of our president and founder, Joe Steckler, as well as our education specialist, Kim Bernard, and the entire Helping Seniors team, seen and unseen, want to welcome you to Helping Seniors Update today. Today is Wednesday. It's the 26th of August, and I have the privilege of having our good friend, Kelly McDavid-Rallis in with Home Health Care Resources Corporation. How you doing today, Kelly?
I'm good, Kerry. How are you? How's your day been?
A day has been, we were just talking about that. It's been busy, I know, on both sides, both on your side and on our side. But it's been fine. It's all good. We're taking care of business. Joe Steckler, our president, we were talking about this on the radio show today, Kelly. Joe went into the hospital last Wednesday, for his knee operation. Knee operation is a success. So they're working with him on physical therapy and occupational therapy, even as we're speaking. I spoke to him earlier today. He says he's working through the pain, but he's getting there. And it looks like they're going to release him to a rehab hospital, hopefully, even later today. So Joe is making progress, and we're keeping him lifted up in our thoughts and prayers. But the other thing that you and I were talking about just before we started talking about Helping Seniors Updates is the fact that we're keeping the whole Houston area lifted, and all of that along the Texas coastline lifted up in prayer, because if anybody understands what it's like to have a big storm bearing down on them, we in Florida, we get that drift. And so we're going to keep them lifted up in prayer. Hopefully everybody is taking good precautions and following those evacuation things. We were talking, Kelly, that last year, if you remember, we had a near miss with a Cat 4 or Cat 5. And in the process of talking about that, I learned things about, I knew you had a tremendous background anyway in healthcare, going all the way back to starting out as a candy striper as a teenager growing up. But I didn't realize that you had all that background too in state disaster coordination as well, and that you've had a whole experience. And I thought that would be a great topic for us to talk about today, because here we are, right? We're in the middle of hurricane season, and there, but for the grace of God, we would be talking about stuff this week about hurricanes. So.
I'm a Florida native, born and raised in the South Florida area. I lived through Andrew as a child, as a teenager as well. So I was always intrigued about the weather, and even remember doing science projects about the weather in school. So I've always had like an interest in it, what makes Mother Nature, kind of churn and do its thing with the wind and the pressure and all of those different environmental factors. And so I began to learn as much about it as I could. During my 10 years with Agency for Persons with Disabilities, working with our most vulnerable population, in addition to our seniors, because many of them were seniors, we had to be state reporters. So I was blessed enough to be sent to some training and some seminars on being a weather reporter, a disaster coordinator. How do you prepare someone for disasters, getting in the front lines of after a storm, when we had all those 3 hurricanes, Charlie, Jean, and
yes, I remember.
And being able to find supplies for people, who couldn't get generators, and you had special needs people with oxygen. Maybe they didn't evacuate to a special needs shelter. Learning what it's like to get those supplies in, literally chaining a ton of generators, getting them into our mental health facilities as well. Just going in and really understanding what that is. And that's another piece of the pie that I can bring to the table as far as protecting our seniors, especially those along the coastline like we have over in our Brevard County area. So I'd love to share some of that information with you and just see what's kind of needed most by you guys and what you're seeing across the community.
That's one of the things that I love about what Joe has set up in Helping Seniors. It's a network of people who really do care about seniors, but people who not only care, but have substantial knowledge about the right things to do. You and I were talking about some of the things that you do through Home Health Care Resources Corporation, like how you work with clients when there is a storm coming, because you go into people's houses. So you're obviously not only taking care of what they need to do, but you're also in a position where you're helping them get prepared for a storm. And you were sharing just literally, obviously from your years of experience, just some things right off the top of your head about things that you share with seniors to help them understand about getting ready for a storm.
One of the first things we do upon initial consultation and assessment is we're determining their level of ambulation and their level of ability to be able to evacuate, and what type of needs would they have. What is their plan? Do they have one in place? And if they don't, we're going to work with them to put one together. Right. So we find out, what there's a different class coding that's done based on ambulation. Are they bedbound? Can they ambulate with assistance with a walker or with a supported device? Are they completely independent? Do they need oxygen? Are they on any kind of pain pumps or additional equipment that help to support their medical needs? So we're assessing all of those things. We're also asking, for emergency contacts, primary care physician needs. And then what we did this last potential threat for hurricane is we are definitely asking, the aides when they go in, our caregivers, our home health aides, and our certified nursing assistants, please look around, make sure they have adequate food supply, they have canned goods, they have water. Are you filling a bathtub so they can flush the toilet, so you can help them flush the toilet, they can flush the toilet? Do they have flashlight, radios? One of the great things that I was saying and asking you for, which can give us all a lot of information, is what AM radio stations could someone tune into if they're in Brevard and they want to be updated on potential hazardous weather.
Yeah, so on that, there's a couple of stations that make good sense for us. Number one, as you know, we broadcast on FM on radio station WEJF. Now that comes up at 90.3, and the same thing, that's local. So everything is happening with local radio here in Brevard County on those stations. But if you're talking about an AM station, a really good station that's full of news, talk, and information, and particularly as we get into these kind of crisis situations, a good one to keep in mind is WMMB. WMMB is a longtime news talk station. It's at 1240 on the AM, and it's 1350. So they actually have two frequencies. So depending on where you are in the county, you could pick up either frequency and work with that. 1240 AM, 1350, also on AM. And then, of course, 90.3 FM is where WEJF is. And, what I noticed, too, as we've gone through some of these now, a lot of people with smartphones, they actually have internet access even in the midst of a power outage or something like that. So we're finding a lot of people also will go to either something like Weather Nation or to weather.com and be able to pull up information. Also, as you know, too, these TV stations out of Orlando, whenever something is going on, they're usually trying to stay very, very much on top of it as well. And again, if you have a smartphone or an iPad or something that's picking up that cellular signal, oftentimes that may still be available to you. So that gives you like three different areas, AM, FM, and if you find yourself maybe accessing maybe even it's through your cell system, but you're able to get some internet, those are some places you can go.
Well, sometimes too, when depending on how the hurricane hits land and hits our area, if what side are we on of the storm,
right.
The eye of the storm? Are we on the right front quadrant, or are we on the left side of it, or then the south side of it? That right front quadrant spawns off those heavy feeder bands, and we know as just from experience that causes a lot of tornadoes and hail and additional damage, that even though we're not in the center on that right front quadrant, we can experience some definitely some aftermath damage. So making sure, one of the things that is we find sometimes in our senior homes is batteries that are out of date, they're expired, or they have corrosion on them because maybe they haven't needed to use them for a while, or they have an evacuation and they don't really need them them where they're going.
Right.
But so we want to make sure, do those old lanterns that we have, or the ones you put the oil in, those are the safest ones to use. The battery operated are still the safest, with the kerosene lamps.
Yes.
We want to make sure that our batteries are in good conditioning. A lot of people like to put them in the refrigerator. That kind of keeps them safe and away from being corroded in the garage, per se, or the attic. We can also want to make sure that you have your homeowner's insurance policy, your auto insurance policies, your healthcare information. If you have a do not resuscitate order, if you can get those really big Ziploc bags, even gallon or 2 gallon size, and put all those documents in there, make sure that you have them with your medication, and you've already called ahead and received 2 weeks worth of medication. So there's a lot of little things that we are doing when we're in the home, and that we're also talking about an initial or evaluation, and what are some of the crucial things, because from June to November, we know in Florida that a hurricane hit us at any time during that window of opportunity. And these storms, they have all these spaghetti models that you see on the news. Literally, it's like somebody took the spaghetti, like when you're trying to test it to see if it's al dente, you throw it on the wall. Well, that's kind of what hurricanes are for Florida. It's just like hit or miss. You don't know where that hurricane's going to land. So at any given time, we want to make sure that we're prepared, and that's some of the extra things that we do during these unknown times.
We were talking about that on the radio show today too. And by the way, folks, if you missed the radio show, every Wednesday at 90.3 FM WEJF, that's where you find Helping Seniors Radio in the noon o'clock to 1 o'clock hour. And so today, that actually became somewhat of a point of conversation again, is just how getting that information is so important. But one of the things I wanted to ask you about, kind of connected to all this, is we're talking about, last year when we were facing hurricane threat, and we almost had that one come right up on us. I know a lot of people had to go inland and try to move out. And if you remember too, for that particular storm, they were saying, well, we think it's going to go straight into Orlando. And it was just like you're talking about when you talk about these spaghetti models. We were just very fortunate. It decided to stay off the coast and move its way north. But you can't just assume that. You have to be prepared, right?
You do, and that is the just having that preparedness gives us peace of mind. So most of the anxiety and the anxiousness that we have in our lives comes because we're unprepared. So when we're prepared, and you start seeing where are your emergency operations centers? If you had a need and your house was destroyed and you needed federal aid, like from FEMA, who would you call? How would you get a hold of someone?
Yeah.
Where do you start? I mean, do you know how to call your home insurance company to ask about, hey, am I covered for this? The other thing too is knowing, are you proof if there's water damage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are so many things that you have to know. Let me ask you this question: if because this is also part of what we do on the Helping Seniors Update, you really are a wealth of knowledge about this. If people want to give you guys a call and maybe sit down and either just get some information about hurricane preparedness because of your background with that, but also want to encourage you to get information about the kind of services that you guys are able to help with, what's the number they call? How do they get in touch with you?
The best way to reach us is 321-677-2577. We are available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. In the event someone had an emergency, perhaps let's say someone went into the hospital and they were going to do a late discharge but wanted them to go home to make sure they had a caregiver present to help them, we are available after hours. That number will get you to someone who is designated to help for emergencies, and sometimes it's even me, depends on how serious the need is. So you're always going to get someone, and that's 321-677-2577.
It's a good number to have, Kelly, and thank you for sharing some information about this. I was going to say, maybe if you have together maybe like a checklist or something like that, what a great thing that we should try to get into either the Helping Seniors newsletter, or we can put it up on the website, because I didn't realize until we were talking today that you had all that wealth of experience in your background of being a storm preparedness disaster coordinator. That's good to know on the Helping Seniors team. So also real quickly before we sign off for today's Helping Seniors update, wanted to say this is, we talked about this. We're 45 days out. Somebody is going to get keys to a brand new car 45 days from today. And
what a great Christmas present.
Tell me about it. And these cars are so much fun. That was another thing we talked about on the radio today. We started laughing because last year the lady who won it was local. She was there. And she had decided that she wanted that 2019 red Dodge Challenger, the one that was right there on the floor. And today that's what she's tooling around the county in. And so this year they worked it out. We have a 2020 Camaro, a 2020 Dodge Challenger, again, a 2020 Mazda Miata convertible, and a Kia Sportage that the winner can pick which one they like from. And Kelly, we were talking about this. There is a survey. If you go to helpingseniors.carraffle.com, helpingseniors.carraffle.com, it's just for fun. It's non-binding. You can change your mind between now and when you win the car, if you win the car on October 10th. But it's interesting. Right now, just by a nose, I'm curious, do you have a guess as to who might be in the lead, which car?
I'm going to go with the Camaro.
You are right. 31% have voted for the Camaro. And we were laughing about this because, we're in political times, so everybody starts all this about, and it's within the statistical window, but the Dodge Challenger is within that statistical window at 29%, and almost right on the heels at 28% is the Mazda Miata convertible, but still a very respectable, I think it's 14% or something for the Kia Sportage, but the Camaro has it just by a nose. So if you haven't voted, go to helpingseniors.carraffle.com because you can join the survey and it's updated, live and as we go along. But it's a fun thing to see, but it's also the place you can get your tickets. And with 45 days to go, as they say, you got to be in it to win it. So one ticket is $25. 5 tickets is a $100 ticket bundle. Now, we were talking about this on the radio today. Again, because of the COVID restrictions, they're not recommending we do a group event on October 10th. I'm sorry to say that, but it is what it is. Safe is good. And particularly when you think about seniors being safe, safe is really good. However, 2 things happen. Number 1, your ticket is a chance to win the car. And number 2, Mark Pylock, the owner of the American Muscle Car Museum, has very generously promised not 1, not 2, but 3 make good dates. So we are giving away the car absolutely on October 10th. And he has promised that he's going to make a Wednesday, a Saturday, and a Sunday date available so that when you have your your ticket stub, that will gain you free admission. Each ticket is an admit one to the American Muscle Car Museum. So That's awesome. In fact, get that experience as well. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We are still going to be there at the American Muscle Car Museum, but for safety's sake, we're going to end up having to do this virtually. So we're going to try to make it a little bit like a fun telethon style. We're going to have some people come out and share some information about those great cars. Hopefully, Kelly, you'll be able to come out, yes, and we're going to ask our sponsors. We can have like 5 people, 10 people, but we can't have a crowd. And if you can recall, last year we had well over 2,000 people, and we just want to err on the side of being safe. So that's what we're going to do. But on October 10th, we are giving the car away, and somebody's going to pick up those tickets. And then we're going to have 3 make good dates as soon as the restrictions allow, that you're going to be able to use your ticket and come in and see that amazing group of cars. So that's a fun thing going on. HelpingSeniorsCarRaffle.com. Also, while you're looking at things, look at HelpingSeniorsTravelClub.com, because Kelly, and you and I talked about this just the other week. We've got the Helping Seniors Foundation cruise that's going to be sailing from Port Canaveral February 21st, a 7-night cruise, and it is designed to help us get everything rolling with the Helping Seniors Foundation. And that's an important part of everything that goes on too, because we want to not only help seniors in our generation, but in perpetuity for generations to come. And this is our first event that gets us moving in the right direction. And our friends at MSA Cruises have agreed to help us initiate that foundation with proceeds from this cruise. So when you join this cruise, you're going to be sailing with people from Brevard County. You're going to be sailing with your friends from Helping Seniors. You're going to be helping to support the work of Helping Seniors. You're going to be just having a great time. We've got special musical guests. It's just going to be a lot of fun. And by the time we get to February 21st, we will be so ready for that vacation, I am sure. Kelly.
Oh yeah, everybody's going stir crazy, and we're living like you're a senior for 45 plus years nowadays. So like, that's really important to have that foundation and that growth started here and bringing in, just first class knowledge and resources, and our community partners that represent and bring so much talent, education, knowledge. 45 years plus right now is the average age to be a senior.
Wow. So
years.
that's actually good news, because I used to explain this in 1900. If you had turned 50, statistically you were dead. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just because of the life expectancy.
Yeah, if you're considering 55 plus a senior, because a lot of people are, it's a pre-senior. Yep. So literally, we're average age in the nursing home is 95.
Yeah, we were teasing Joe about this, because he asked his doctor. He said, "I'm 86 and I'm doing knee replacement surgery." And he said, "How old?" He said, "Am I your oldest patient?" And he said, the doctor looked at him and said, "No, I operated on a 102-year-old, Joe. You're a whippersnapper." So
you're spring chicken compared,
There you go. So it is a good thing that we're doing with Helping Seniors. And I sure do appreciate, Kelly, you joining us and always being so generous with sharing your insight. I remember, and look this up, folks, she did a great one on sanitizing your house and the things that you want to keep around your house on one of the Helping Seniors updates. We've done several good television programs that you'll want to find on the Helping Seniors YouTube channel. And then even today's information, share this video and help people get set up, because we still are in hurricane season. And like I said, we started out, we said, we'll keep our friends down in Texas and that area lifted up in prayer. But we understand that we have to be prepared for those things as well. So Kelly, thank you do you have any final word of wisdom or a good thought for people in our area today?
We just want to take this information and definitely, like you said, share it. Yes. Give it to someone. They may not be in our county, they may not be in our community, but these are great resources. I was able to share with a family that moved back to Jersey over this past winter and summer, was be able to educate them, give them information about COVID and keeping them safe, what to expect from another agency. So take our resources and share them across the states, the globe with people, because it is about keeping people safe, keeping people healthy, and most importantly, providing wonderful education.
Yeah, no, so you're so important. You're so right on it. So just quickly before we go, one more time, the phone number to reach you at Home Health Care Resources Corporation.
We're local and we can be reached at 321-677-2577. That's Home Health Care Resources Corp, serving all of Brevard County at 321-677-2577.
That sounds great. Thank you, Kelly. And so thank you too, viewer, for tuning in. We will see you again on Friday for Helping Seniors Updates. Until then, stay safe and thanks for joining us.